Hello and bonjour everyone. I'm Dr. Michèle Schaal and I'm an Associate Professor of French and Women's and Gender Studies at Iowa State University. I specialize in contemporary French feminisms and women writers, and I am the leading specialist of Virginie Despentes, a French author and feminist. For the Department of World Languages and Cultures, I teach courses on French grammar, literature, conversation, and feminisms. For the Women's and Gender Studies program, I have instructed the Introduction to Women's and Gender Studies. I am in charge of the core theory course and also of one pertaining to my scholarship on feminist essays and manifestos. I started my career at ISU in 2012, and from the very first semester on, I used the library course reserve system, both the physical and the digital one. There were several reasons for that choice. The first one, and most important one, of course, is accessibility. Now, most people have physical spaces in mind when you tell them the word accessibility. But accessibility is actually much broader and includes having access to the material to succeed in classes. Using the physical and digital course reserves has enabled students with limited financial means to access the material, whether books or textbooks, free of charge. This, of course, allows for all students to save money, but even more so for graduate students. Typically, the reading load is heftier at this level, and course packets, as such, can be more expensive, but also very bulky. I received my PhD from Indiana University Bloomington. As a graduate student, I took several classes with such hefty reading loads. The first time I took one of these theory courses in the early 2000s, all material was still only available as course packets, sometimes one, sometimes two, sometimes even three, and a lot of them were that thick. I'm not exaggerating, they were really that thick. 2 years after I took my first theory class, nearly all such classes started to use the course EReserve. It made a huge difference financially for me and my fellow graduate students. And it was also more practical to bring smaller chunks of the material to class. Securing digital access has not always been possible for a variety of reasons. This is why, as soon as digital copies of textbooks or books were available, I listed them as options to my students, and I let them get ebook versions of the course material. And this is always explicitly listed on all of my course policies, including that most of the material will be made available via the course reserve. When a digital copy of textbooks or books does unfortunately not exist, I try to adopt textbooks from non-profit publishers. This is the case, for example, for my feminist theory course that I teach and where I use one textbook from Oxford University Press. In any case, when looking for a textbook, I always consider the price before making any final adoption. In addition to academic rigor, accessibility, affordability are also key to my teaching. And I also base them on the fact that I benefited from EReserves or course reserves as a graduate student. I also seized this opportunity to thank the library staff, who has always done an amazing job at accommodating my requests, especially the digital ones. But they really went above and beyond during the global pandemic and made sure to secure accessibility to digital copies of the material that I taught. So thank you very much, because this was very helpful to me as an instructor, but even more so to my students, who because of the pandemic struggled financially even more than before. Thank you all for listening. Au revoir et à bientôt.